Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the top 20 college football rivalries of all time. This is part 1 of a 2-part series, so stay tuned for part 2 on our channel. Alright, without any further ado, let's jump right into the list. In the number 20 spot, we have the Washington State versus Washington game. The state of Washington produces 71% of all apples in the United States, hence the name the Apple Cup. The Apple Cup is presented by the governor of the state of the victor of each game, and the Washington Huskies have won it most of the time. Since the beginning of the series in 1900, Washington State has never enjoyed a 3-game winning streak. In comparison, the Washington Huskies have had a 2 8-game winning streak, as well as 8 previous 3-game winning streaks. In the number 19 spot, we have Amherst versus Williams. The term for this rivalry comes from the fact that both schools compete in Division III, which does not provide athletic scholarships. It's the most played rivalry at that level and the 4th most played rivalry in the NCAA overall. The schools are around 50 miles apart in Massachusetts and compete in the NESCAC Division III conference. In 2007, ESPN honored this rivalry as one of the best in America by hosting College Game Day on the campus. It was the first time a Division III institution has hosted a show. Up next, we have North Carolina versus Virginia. Spoiler alert, the oldest rivalry isn't the South's oldest rivalry at all. The title goes to Auburn, Georgia, whose first game was 245 days before North Carolina, Virginia. But you get the gist of the nickname, and the rivalry is so intense that President Calvin Coolidge traveled 8 hours round trip to attend the game in person in 1928. Other presidents with ties to UVA include Thomas Jefferson, who founded the university, and President Woodrow Wilson, who attended law school there. President James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States, graduated from UNC in 1818. Up next, we have Clemson versus South Carolina. The Palmetto Bowl has the distinction of being the longest continuous rivalry in college football, having been played for 111 consecutive years from 1909 to 2019. The cancellation was because of COVID-19. However, the two reconnected in 2021. The Palmetto Bowl is only one component in the Palmetto series, which is a rivalry between 2 athletic departments. In addition, the 2 colleges compete in an annual blood drive held the week before the Palmetto Bowl. While the Tigers had a significant advantage in the Palmetto Bowl, the 2 teams are deadlocked 18-18 in the blood drive battle. In the number 16 spot, we have Kansas versus Kansas State. Although the Jayhawks and Wildcats aren't particularly well known for their football programs, this in-state rivalry has been as heated as any. With 119 games, it's one of the top 10 FBS rivalries. And the 2 institutions dispute on the total series record. Kansas won the 1980 game, but it was forced to forfeit by the Big 8 Conference after it was discovered that they used an ineligible player. However, because the league imposed the forfeit rather than the NCAA, Kansas is not required to record the forfeit. Thus, Kansas claims a 69-49-5 advantage, while KSU and the Big 12 claim a 64-50-5 advantage. Up next, we have Navy versus Notre Dame. As Navy versus Notre Dame demonstrates, a rivalry can be marginally or completely one-sided and yet be considered a rivalry. The Fighting Irish not only won over 85% of their games, but they've also enjoyed a 43-game winning streak from 1964 to 2006. That's the longest winning run in FBS history between 2 annual opponents. The trophy was named after Edgar "Rip" Miller, who was a graduate of both colleges. He won a national title as a player at Notre Dame and then spent 44 years at Navy as their head coach, assistant coach, and athletic director. Up next, we have Clemson versus Alabama. This is the least played rivalry on this list, and it didn't really constitute a rivalry until the college football playoff was established. Only 15 matchups occurred between 1900 and 2008, but 4 occurred in consecutive years from 2016 to 2019. All 4 had national championship implications, and the winner each time would be crowned the national champion for that year. There are many similarities between the 2 schools since Clemson's 3 winning head coaches, Frank Howard, Dabo Swinney, and Danny Ford, all attended Alabama as collegiate players. Up next, we have Utah versus BYU. Because BYU is controlled by the Mormon Church, and more than 1/3 of Utah's student body identifies as Mormon, the rivalry has earned the moniker the Holy War. Because the 2 institutions are only 50 miles apart, they frequently battle for recruits, and they have participated in the same conference for the past 89 years. Since conference realignment in 2011, this has not been an annual series, but the 2 have reunited in Las Vegas of all places. For the 2015 Las Vegas Bowl, given the religious histories of both schools, that bowl game earned the moniker the Holy War in Sin City, and Utah won it 35-28. In the number 12 spot, we have Texas versus Texas A&M. Before the league reorganization in 2011, the rivalry had a nearly 120-year history. However, with Texas about to join the SEC, it's a rivalry that will most certainly resume, much to the chagrin of Texas A&M, given that it's been dominated throughout. Despite the fact that the Lone Star Showdown has been one-sided, both schools agreed to renew it when they were in different leagues. A study of UT students in 2017 found that almost 97% of them wanted the rivalry to return, while an A&M poll 18 months later found that nearly 89% of Aggie students wanted it to return as well. While Texas enters the SEC no later than 2025, both sets of fans will have their wishes accomplished. And finally, for this video, in the 11th spot, we have Auburn versus Georgia. Only Minnesota versus Wisconsin has been played 132 times more than the Deep South's oldest rivalry, which dates back to 1892. The first encounter took place 8 months before the inaugural game of what has been dubbed the South's oldest rivalry, which has previously stated Virginia versus UNC. The two institutions have several relationships, including Georgia's all-time winning coach, Vince Dooley, who played and began his coaching career at Auburn. In addition, former Auburn coach Pat Dye, for whom the university named its football stadium, was an All-American at Georgia. Well, guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Sports Source, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.